Hi, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Today I just want to share with you another little project I got going. This is a turkey oak, Quercus ceres. I've had this for a couple of years. I was lucky enough to be able to collect this from a site around the corner. It was kind of, like I say, just grown in the ground as it, from a seedling or whatever, so it kind of had a nasty taproot. Had a little bit of an inverse taper, but I'm trying to correct that. But the overall actual tree from the initial chop, it's quite a nice thing really. I think it's quite similar to actually really where we want to be for an oak tree. So yeah, today we're just going to go through, clean up some of the kind of unneeded branches in there, wire down things that we might want to keep, and try and put like a little bit of movement in there and maybe try and make it look like it's got some weight hanging off it. Right, so we'll start at the bottom here. We've got some nice little branches here. They're just a bit straight and not much going on. I don't know what we're just trying to add a little bit of weight to them. This one is inside of the bend there, you see. So we'll keep it for now and see where it goes, but I'm going to develop this one a little bit more, and while it's here something else might come out, but we'll hang on to these for now and we'll pick one at a later date, I think. So like I say, I want to pull some new roots and work on the bottom as well as this top bit here. But again, a nice practice tree I feel with this one. So yeah, we'll wire these out the way. Like I say, they're quite thin, but we'll do it now so we can get a little bit of movement in them. And then we'll wire these two out the way. So these I'll use a 1mm. We'll have a go. I'll have to maybe go around the houses a little bit with this as well, because I do want to wire both of these but anchor them well. See where we can, let's just check our route. Actually, that might work well. I'm just trying to keep myself a clear path for the next piece of wire and make sure that both of these are anchored well and not just if I come over the top of that one. A little bit messy there, let's tidy that up. Haven't used copper wire for a long time, this aluminium wire is so easy. A good investment. So that's that. Those loops are a little bit tight there at the end of it. I say it's a bit too soft versus the copper wire I'm used to. There we go, so that's that wired out of the way. We've anchored them together. It's a little bit round the houses, but I want to use different wire on these two, so I've gone with that. And like I say, these don't, you can see they're not going to take a lot to do things to. Like I say, it's about really just putting some little twists and bends into them and making it look like there's maybe a little bit of weight there. I don't want it looking crazy and unnatural. And these are obviously going to get cut back and then more will get grown on to obviously create some ramification and taper in the branches as well. So that's out the way for now. I'm happy with that. Like I say, this is a long way. We've got to thicken that up now. It's one of the bottom branches. So right, so next up we'll wire these two down. I'm going to use a slightly heavier grade of wire there because I don't think the 1mm will cut it, and I don't really want to put two little thin pieces on there. It probably up the risk of biting, especially we've got a bit more foliage pulling here as well. So we'll use 1.6mm on this. And obviously we want to get two branches wired together again. I don't really want to cross over that other path of the wire. Maybe I can sneak it down here. It's a little bit awkward to get it nicely anchored, but that'll do there. We're tangled in that one. See the purpose of wiring those thinner ones, really, get them out of the way. Just avoid that bud. a little bit too much wire there, but I'm not going to cut these ends off because I like to reuse the wire, and these aren't show trees, they're my trees, so it's not too much of a hassle. Again, I just want to introduce some little bends into these. That's quite nice. I like how them two are working together there. This one, like I say, I think it will be going at some point, but we're going to hang on to it for now until I see. I'm going to bring that forward a little bit, so we'll get something else to fill in here, hopefully. And you see here, these buds are nice and flat there, so if we want to cut this back and, like I said, create some ramification and some taper in the branches, there's options either side, so this will probably be wasted at some point. Like I say, there'll be a choice here at some point as well. So it looks a bit odd having two there right next to each other doing the same thing. So much like down here, these two here, they're growing really a bit too straight. We're getting more near the top of the tree obviously, but just want to move them around a little bit and, like I say, create maybe a little bit of weight hanging off them. This here I'm going to leave alone. I kind of like that just coming up there. We're not really going to alter it much at this point, so I think we'll leave it alone. You know, I'll develop it from lower down again once we fattened it up and it kind of comes in keeping with the rest of the tree. So those bits there would probably be redundant. But we'll leave it for now, like I say, just to beef that bottom part up. Probably just cut a few leaves out of here and then we can get a bit more light into the trunk area, and we might get a few more shoots from here and there. Right, we'll wire those down. We'll use 1.6 again. Hopefully I can do this so you can see it. Always just take a minute to route the wires nicely and make them work for you. Obviously always wiring two branches together is best unless there's somewhere you can't. Maybe just have to use the trunk. That. Just come around there. There we go, they got that wire perfect that time. For these again, I'm just going to support it. If I'm under the bit where I want to bend, I don't want to be crushing into the bark either, but you're going to have to be firm with it. So I think we'll just give that a little bit of movement there. And again, you know, you can set this today, come back, look at it over the next few days, and you'll probably bend it around a little bit more and change your idea. It hasn't got to be set in stone. You haven't got to wire it on and leave it on. You know, you can still adjust things. Like I say, I'll just show you there with those. I'll just put the thumb under it and support it on the bends, and then you won't snap the branches. And do a little bit of curl there as well. These here I'm not overly keen on. I think we should only really keep one. Yeah, and the angle at which that one's coming down, I think we just keep the bigger one there for now and do away with that. It's a slightly better, you can work with that angle at least where it's coming from. The other one didn't look too natural. And again with that, I'll probably just wire it, you know, just make it go up there a little bit, probably opposite to that one. And whether we keep that in the long run. Also we've got our leader hiding behind there. So yeah, we'll assume that would be the front. Maybe we do something with this, maybe we won't. I'll probably just knock one of these shoots out, whatever one looks more usable, and stop that getting too chunky. So in there, in that leader section there, there's a nice little branch coming out here. See, which might do a better job than this one in the end. So we'll leave that for now. this one's dead opposite that one, which looks more useful, and there's a better one coming out of there. So I think we'll do away with this one. It looks a bit like a, I think that one there. These are quite usable there, and that would, too many coming from one point. That's a nice branch as well, yeah, so I think we'll take that one out. A little bit less going on. We've got a few potential new leader options there when we reduce this down further again. I just again want to fatten it up a little bit more. And the rest of that really is all probably going to get cut off at some point at the top there, so we'll leave that to pull some new roots. There's another nice potential leader really, that, if you had to as well. So depending on what goes on with this Nibiri in the long run, might be another nice leader there, and it's already going in a good direction. So I think we'll leave that alone for now, and we'll call that one done for today. Like I say, by all means, when you've wired something up and you're fairly new to it, have another look over it, and maybe check out a few other examples of what people have done with a species, or if you're trying to keep it like a natural tree like this, I do want it to kind of look like an oak tree when it's done, not just some crazy twisty pine. And you can go back in a few days over the week and just kind of bend things around, nip them around a little bit more, and you might get exactly where you want. Well, like I said, I'm going to show you some other oaks, and there they are. Some other smaller ones anyway. I've got some chunky stumps in pots, but these obviously things I've had for quite a while and grown slowly, so hoping for the best results out of these in the end. This one's probably about 6 years old, but it spent a lot of its time in kind of a normal flower pot, not really doing a lot, and then it kind of shot up one year, showed a bit of potential, and I kept clipping it back and creating this kind of tapering movement we've got there now. So we're getting quite close to, I want to try to kind of now just bulk it up a little bit, but we are getting close to maybe starting to work on some structural branches and things on this one. But yeah, a little bit bigger, yeah. And you might be able to see a little bit of the bar in there. There's quite a few radial roots in there, so a lot of potential, that tree. Again, another cool one I found. I thought this was a turkey oak as well, but it's a little bit different to this leaf, but the same site it came from, so we'll see where this goes. This one's, the one we worked on earlier really has got quite crazy jaggedy cutouts. This one's a little bit more uniform, and a nice tree again really. This was grown in a piece of concrete. I found a way into a crack in there, and then where the debris had built up, it kind of built up a nice root flare along there as well, so there's a bit of interest in this pot as well. I'm not going to dig around in there too far, but there's something going on under there. But a great shape again, really interesting, kind of from all angles, so that obviously comes towards you, but we could always correct that if we wanted it another way. But it seems like quite a universal flexible tree there. That's something exciting for the future. This, believe it or not, is one of my oldest oak trees, and we can probably consider this a fail. It's looked kind of cool in between. There's a really small tree. When I was more of a, I'd say a novice, I'm not that I'm an expert, but when I first begun out with it, I got this tree to a level where I was quite happy with it. Looked into how bonsai works, how you really look at a good quality bonsai, and thought, no, we're a million miles away here, so we started again. And then some bugs attacked it one year, and kind of all the trunk got split and went really kind of odd. But this tree, which is really odd about it, same kind of leaf as this other oak here, but I think it's more of like a kind of berry oak, because it's always chucking out loads of little shoots. So something I'm just going to carry on with because I've had it so long. I've probably had this tree 8 years, 9 years, something like that. Again, grown from a seedling that big, so it's a slow way of getting there. But this one probably wants chucking in the ground. Kind of made a new taper where I'd lost some of the original due to some bad wiring, where I'd teared some bark and it just didn't look like it was going to heal well over time. So I set about creating a new top for it, and we've got something kind of cool going on there. Lots of new buds here as well, and buds everywhere down there, so branches will never be a problem on this tree. That one there, quite nice that. It's got fairly nice Nibiri in there again as well. I have to deal with these little branches, cut all these off. I just wanted to make sure something was going to come back. from the top, and you can see it has. We've got loads of shoots on the main trunk. So that's another job for today, now we've seen that. And a couple more in here, right down to this one. Absolute whopper. I don't know what to do with this yet, whether we, if I can get enough shoots coming out of one point at the top, maybe like a nice kind of broom standard style, traditional maybe oak tree out of this. Well, thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed it, well, I hope you enjoyed it, but if you have enjoyed it, if you wouldn't mind dropping us a like, and maybe a subscribe if you want to see more of this, it'd be really helpful to us. It will really help the channel out. And yeah, join us again, and we'll, you know, at some point we'll take the wire off this and we'll do some more to it, no doubt. Yeah, we'll see you down the road.